What's up? Cheers. So I don't know if you're allowed to drink adult beverages on YouTube. This is apple juice. It's adult apple juice. Actually, I don't even know what you could say, what you could claim. All right, it's bourbon. It's U.S. made bourbon, but at the detriment of my bourbonness, this is actually made in Virginia. So not even like a Kentucky made bourbon. I hope that does not make you think less of me, but it's really good. This one is the Isaac Bowman Port Barrel Finished. I definitely enjoy. It's pretty good. Smooth, very smooth. Anyhow, hello. Thank you for joining me. I thank you for coming back. I know that I have another video out. This will make video number 2, hopefully, if this sounds right and looks right and has all of the right makings for what I want it to be. So listen, I've got my notes here to help me along with what I got to say to you this evening. So maybe I won't sound as scattered as I did on video 1. I'm not calling it episode 1. My note number 1 here is telling me to tell you that this is still not the show just yet. Please understand that what you saw before, what you're watching now, is just a glimpse of what I hope to accomplish by sitting here talking to you folks. I have a studio. This studio is Scott Jr.'s former bedroom that we have. We don't have any other real use for it, so I got the green light to go ahead and turn this into what I did. There's a lot of different things that I talk about on a regular basis. My wife is the wonderful person who gets to listen to all of this nonsense that comes out of my head. So she was so gracious enough to purchase me equipment for Christmas. Some of I can go overboard. Some of what's here is what I got as a Christmas present. A lot of what's here is what I've added to make the Christmas present be something that I could use and utilize to bring to you a show. But I'm still on point number 1, and this is still not the show just yet. I do have a working title for the show. It's My Show with Scott Kosek. I promise that I am not some kind of a prima donna. I don't love myself. I'm not in love with myself. I'm not somebody who... I certainly don't refer to myself in third person. You won't hear me talking about what Scott thinks about, whatever. However, this really is my show, so I don't know what else to call it. If you know me or have known me for a long time, you would understand that it fits in my brain to just say, it's my show with Scott Kosek. I'd love to get your feedback on the title, but just know it's my show, and I am Scott Kosek. Anyhow, mainly what I would like to talk about as I sit here and talk into a camera and try not to use the word 9,000 times and sound like a complete moron. I would like to talk about conspiracy theories. I would like to talk about corruption. I would like to talk about cover-ups, scandal, abuse of power. We're also going to get into things of the unknown. I would like to talk about the spiritual realm. I would like to talk about aliens, how aliens are actually the offspring of fallen angels, the Nephilim, the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, is what you get to encounter if you encounter an alien encounter. I don't believe that things have traveled across space and time to come to the United States to whatever. We'll get into that at some other point in time. I do want to talk about scandals. I do want to talk about cover-ups. I do want to talk about things that you generally don't hear in general conversation. You don't hear in history books. What you get as history is a version of things, how things went down, and that's about it, at any rate. So in 1997, I went back to school at Olympic College in Bremerton, Washington. One of the very first things that I looked up was the moon landing. And for the life of me, I don't even know why I looked up the moon landing. I'm not at all interested, not on my radar at all, but somehow I got on that page. And from that, it just went down this long and winding road. The long and winding road. I am learning how to play the piano. I hope that that's a song that I can play at some point in time. But anyway, just know my brain works in segues. I get off onto tangents and side things pretty easily. Anyhow, at some point in time, I have 2 chairs, I have 2 mics, 2 sets of headphones, I got 2 cameras, good lighting for both sides of the room. I really hope at some point in time to put some people to my right, because I would like to hear, what do you believe? I put that out there that way. Still working on how to let you contact me. I mean, I guess for now you can feel free to comment. Feel free to like, share, and comment what I'm talking about right now. I would like to get some people that I know to sit here and tell me what you know about some type of a specific conspiracy theory, cover-up, scandal. What do you think about the spiritual realm? Do you know anything about Göbekli Tepe? Do you know anything about how there is a lot of evidence to suggest that Adolf Hitler did not kill himself, and in fact was one of the many Germans from that time that ended up in Argentina? Do you know that there's a really big, large, giant German population in Argentina to this day, to where they still speak German? They still have German festivals. They still... That's why you need to tune into the show whenever this show actually transpires. So I'll be interviewing people. I want to focus primarily on what things people believe. What's your worldview? Do you have a theological viewpoint? Do you even know what a theological viewpoint is? What's your favorite conspiracy theory? Did we go to the moon? Did the CIA work with the mob to have 12 different people in place in Texas and Dallas for JFK coming through, to make sure that it was a fail-safe plan, that this dude was getting unalived at some point in time while he was going to be on display in the back of a convertible car? You know, that guy sort of upset quite a few different people and was challenging the status quo for a lot of different things that was going on. So, sorry, but you got to go. Now listen, I know that is a lot. That's a lot of stuff, and many of the different people that I watch. So there's a lot of different people that I watch. I listen to Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. I listen to True Stream Media. I listen to Pastor Billy Crone. I listen to. I'm a sucker for the Joe Rogan Experience. He's got a wide assortment of different people on there. I also really like a gentleman by the name of James Corbett. And one of the things that I really like about James Corbett is that James Corbett, at one point in time, changed an entire section of his show to call it Solutions Watch. And I think that he originally called it Problems Watch. And he was basically making the argument that we can notice these different things that are going on, and we can either take them as, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, run, flee, run for the hills, do everything that you can to prepare because the end is nigh. And that just doesn't really seem to be realistic. We still have to live in this existence. We still have to go to work tomorrow. I'm off on Mondays, but that's beside the point. We still have to go, we still have to function, we still have to be members of this society. And rather than focus on all of these different things that are broken and problematic, which they are, things are very broken and very problematic, but we can take it upon ourselves tomorrow to do the things that we got to do to help and inspire those that are around us, so that maybe tomorrow is a little bit better than it was today. At any rate, so one of the things that I want to do is I also want to talk about lighter things. I want to talk about stories from my past. I have a lot of really interesting stories. So hopefully, if everything lines up correctly, and Russell, I am definitely calling you out in this video. I am trying to get my second best friend. He was my best friend for the longest time. But then I got married, and my wife is now my best friend, as it should be. And Russell was, for the longest time, my best friend. I feel like we're still very close. I try to communicate with Russell as best as I can. We share a very interesting story. We left from Steubenville, Ohio, and went to Seattle, Washington in 1995, in November of all times, and we had nothing but the backpacks that we had on our back. We had no real plan. We kind of had a plan, but that plan fell through, and we were able to hitchhike from Steubenville to the ferry terminal in downtown Seattle, and it was something that was very life-changing for both he and I. And I'm hoping here in a few months to get my friend Russell to sit down here with me. I'm sure that story will be something that we will talk about, but I'm sure that there's a million and one other things that we'll also talk about. We've had a billion different conversations about all these same types of things. But like I say, I want to talk about some things that are lighter. I want to talk about some things from my past. I want to talk about some of the experiences from the shops that I've worked at over the years. And I want to try to be as encouraging as I can be to myself, as well as anybody who cares to watch and listen. Things are weird. Things are really messed up. But it doesn't, as much as that stuff affects us on a daily basis, it still feels like it's out there somewhere. And my everyday occurrence is completely different than what a Vladimir Putin has to say, what a Benjamin Netanyahu has to do with whatever. Come Tuesday, I'm opening up the shop. I've got a whole schedule worth of stuff to tint, and so long as they all show up, we're going to tint some windows. I am no expert. I know about all of these different things. I could tell you a lot of different things. I could tell you things about the moon landing. I could tell you things about the JFK assassination. I could tell you things about Göbekli Tepe. I could tell you things about aliens and demons. I can tell you things about Skinwalker Ranch, Bigfoot. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I've watched, listened to, and read about over the years. But I promise you, I'm no expert. I am just a regular lay person, just like yourself, who is going to work on Tuesday to make ends meet and contribute to my livelihood. But I want to share these things. I want to talk about these things, primarily because I think that we get a lot of these things thrown at us on a regular basis, and I think a lot of it is due to manipulation. I think that the powers that be want us to feel a certain way about them getting to do whatever they feel like they want to do. And eventually I'm going to talk about a concept that I have about two different Americas that we happen to live in, unless you're my folks from across the pond. Hello, Scotland. John, sorry, I got to represent the boys. I know that I've been to Ibrox, and that's the only place I've ever seen a professional soccer game in my life, a professional football game in all my life. But, yeah, I got to roll with the Celtic. Sorry, John. Anyway, yeah, we live in two completely different worlds at the exact same time. I will expand on that at some point in time in the future. It's a very near and dear to my heart idea. I will definitely be hashing that out as we walk through this together. But like I say, I'm no expert. The only thing that I consider myself to be an expert in is tinting windows. To all of my window tinting friends, if you have made it this long in this video, please understand that this is not a window tinting podcast. I am definitely a window tinter. I own and operate my own window tinting business. I'm very good at it. I do it consistently, constantly, all year round. I have customers all year round. I'm certain that I will talk about things as it pertains to window tint from time to time in here. In fact, most of the lighthearted stories that I have to share with everybody is going to be from some type of time that I was in a shop at some point. So, anyway, last thing that I have for you this evening is I wish that I had a date for you for episode 1. We are in the heart of one of the hottest, most disgusting summers ever. And as a window tinter, I get calls all day, every day. I've got things scheduled pretty far out as it pertains to that. I got homes and buildings and cars and trucks to do. I'm trying my best to learn how to do this, learn how all the recording and sound systems work, et cetera, et cetera. I've also decided at some point in time in the last year or so to start reading novels along with taking piano lessons, as well as running a business and all of that. So I am working on content. I'm definitely sitting in here talking into camera and coming up with things. I hope that you join me on this venture. I hope you enjoy this journey that I'm trying to take. I think a lot of the things that I plan on talking about that I've already shared to some extent with you are things that spark your interest. Just know that a lot of things that we're told are not how things really are. And the more we know about that, the more it's going to help us be who we're supposed to be. At any rate, I hope you found what I have to say interesting. I hope that you will continue with me along on this journey. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.